Actually, Danny's coming today. He passed his intake, so he's showing up. But it's nothing. I mean, obviously, no baseball related stuff. Frenchie is going to DH tomorrow. Who else? Obviously, Brazier still behind. We know that. Jeter Downs should be okay for tomorrow if we need him. So we're a healthy bunch right now. And now, the next few weeks, people are going to start playing more, and the goal is to finish healthy to be ready for the season.
What are you pleased with, and what are you a little concerned about?
I'm very pleased with the way we play in defense. We're doing a good job catching the ball, and we spend a lot of times early in the morning working on it. We're working on tags, and you can see it. We had a great relay the other day. The outfielders are throwing to right bases. If you take away that second game where we made 5 errors, and it's been really clean baseball. That's the most important thing. And also, there's a few guys that have been wild, right? But little by little, it seems like we're doing a better job attacking the zone, not walking people. And so it's been good. I'm very pleased with the way we're doing things, but we still have to get better. We know that. And this is not only in spring training, but throughout the season. There's going to be stuff that we have to keep working on it. And where we want to go, this is not enough. We have to be better, and we will get better.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Alex, you mentioned Brazier. Where is he in his progression, and do you see him in games at some point?
I don't know if he's going to be able to be on games. He's actually throwing a bullpen. Hold on. I got it right here. What's today? The 19th? Yeah, he's throwing a bullpen today. So, obviously, see how he feels about that. But he's still probably a few live BPs. And if that doesn't happen before we break camp, obviously, it's going to be hard. But like I said, we have to be patient. We don't want to push him. He's very important to what we're trying to do. And he knows it. He knows it. It just, those 2 weeks when we had to go home, put him behind on the rehab and everything else. So we understand. We understand.
Alex, ¿cómo ha lucido Philly Valdez para ti?
Estuvo inconsistente al principio. Su última fue bastante buena. Ha dado muchas bases por bolas. Y no queremos eso. Como relevista, queremos que sean ataques la zona un poquito más. Él tiene buena recta, buen cambio. Pero, al principio, yo creo que fue en Baltimore, si no me equivoco. Tuvo una mala, pero su última fue bastante sólida.
Viendo a Kike Hernández batear de primero y haciéndolo bien y manteniéndose bateando de primero en el sprint training, ¿podemos decir que él es el abridor de los Red Sox?
No podemos hacerlo, pero es algo que lo estoy pensando. Yo creo que en cuanto a la flexibilidad que nos brinda y el balance que trae a la alineación, hace sentido, pero esas decisiones todavía no las vamos a tomar.
Finalmente, Franchi Cordero, ¿entiende de que en algún punto la próxima semana pueda jugar un partido de sprint training?
Mañana va a ser bateador designado, así que es el comienzo de algo positivo. Ayer se le enfrentó a Richards. En cuanto a turnos, él está igual que los que han jugado todos los días o han jugado en campo de entrenamiento en el terreno grande. Se enfrentó a Richards, el otro día estuvo en el big game contra Minnesota. Así que en cuanto a turnos, está bien. Ahora es cuestión de ver cuándo puede jugar defensa, cómo se siente el día después que juega defensa. Pero es una noticia positiva de que pueda jugar mañana y pueda ser DH.
In regards to Franchi, you held DH for a few days, and will you try to get him into left field sometime next week?
He actually played left field in the B game. It's just a matter of that we got to be careful with his workload, and obviously you got to get the other guys at bats. For him to DH tomorrow, JD's going to play left field, so he'll DH tomorrow. We got actually a sim game coming up on. There's a live EP on Monday, and then a sim game on Wednesday. So we'll work around that, so he can get his at bats in the big field. hopefully he can play left field. I want to say Monday, and then Tuesday off, Wednesday sim game. So we'll see how he feels. But the concern is playing him too much right away in the outfield. Obviously, we know about his history with injuries, so we have to be careful with that. But as far as the at bats, he's probably have more at bats than I think it's Chavis who's leading the team with 31. So we feel comfortable with that.
Alex, you mentioned the other day you were talking about how you motivate Eduardo. You have to be a little harder on him. Devers, you have to be a little easier on him. How tricky is that balance as a manager, and what did you observe from the managers you played for in that regard?
That's where I learn, and I mean, also at home with the Twins, they're different in that sense. So with one, you have to be very gentle. With the other one, it doesn't matter, which I love. Like, hey, but I learned from Jim Tracy. He started managing the Dodgers. It was 2002. Davey was before him, but with Trace, you could tell. We had some strong individuals as far as personalities in that team. Kevin Brown, Gary Sheffield. So those conversations were different than the ones with Cesar Stewart, myself, Adrian Beltre. So, I mean, it's like everywhere else. We have 26 guys who are different in every aspect, right? The only thing that they do is the same is being baseball players. But besides that, you have different personalities, and you have to deal with it. And that's my job. That's what I have to do. And it's not uncomfortable. I did it throughout my career, too. Just being that bridge guy. I always say Mikey Lowe and myself, we did that with the Red Sox, and dealing with Pedroia and dealing with Manny and dealing with David. There were 3 different individuals, and we treat them differently. And at the end, it paid off. So it's interesting because at the same time, I'm a human being, right? And I have good days and bad days. But when you have to deal with them, you have to go like that. And, whatever I have in my menu or whatever bad day I have to put it behind it and deal with them. So that's what I enjoy about this, that you have to deal with them and you have to push them to be better. And doing it differently is not an obstacle. Actually, it's something that I enjoy.
What motivational approach best worked on you as a player?
On me, Tracy, Davey was harder on me. He pushed me hard, Davey Johnson. I don't know. I never asked him why. Trace was more gentle, more subtle. Tito, it didn't matter. He was like, he knew. At that point, I knew my role, kind of. Like I knew if I want to be in the big leagues for an extended period of time, I better do things right. The whole thing about playing and all that, you better put in behind, because if not, if I start complaining about playing time, in a year or 2 years, I was going to be out, because nobody wants the utility guy or the 25th guy on a roster to be a problem. So by the time I was here, I understood. Actually, in early 2005 with in Cleveland with Eric Wedge, it was uncomfortable, because I come from a situation that I was a platoon guy. I signed with them expecting to play more, and I wasn't playing. So I was actually, I don't want to say I was a bad influence, but I wasn't happy. And I went to the office for the first time complaining about playing time and all that. Little did I know, 2 days later or 3 days later, they trade me. So I learned my lesson. Things happen for a reason, right? Ended up in Boston, and I was able to play 7 more years. But, I learned, and I think those experiences helped me dealing with players.
Thanks.
Alex, in the couple of weeks that you've been back at the job, has it been what you expected? Anything different? Any little moments that reminded, that you surprised you, that you missed, maybe they were mundane before, but you enjoy them now? Or just how is the reality compared to what you hoped in returning?
The reality is that I miss my family. That's a reality. That's the way it works, right? We all make sacrifices. Everybody's on the same page. they'll be in Boston, for opening day, and they'll be there the whole season. But 33 days without them after spending a year and a half every day with the kids and the family, you miss them. But at the same time, this is what I enjoy. This is what I want to do, and they understand that. As far as the game, it's been the same thing. It's actually refreshing, obviously, to be back and being able to show up early and talk to people and try to guide a group of guys to where we want to go. And it seems like we're getting better each day. The coaching staff have been amazing as far as communication and getting these guys to the point that they're getting better and better. And that's the cool thing about being a manager, when you can actually step back and see it, and you think about all this stuff in the offseason, like we want to do this defensive stuff and we want to be better base runners, and then you go at 1 o'clock and it's been better. It's like, okay, we're doing well, but like I said, we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going. But from a personal standpoint, nothing has changed. This is what I love to do. I have a passion for the game. I enjoy it, and I'm blessed to be back.
Alex, when you look back at sort of what you guys gave up to get the World Series and the amount of prospects you guys have now, the sort of the prospects that you guys have on the way, how do you view sort of the amount of talent that you guys have coming through the system and sort of, that could potentially reach the big leagues in, I don't know, in a short period of time?
Yeah, I mean, first things first, right? Like, there's a lot of guys that are almost here that were here before, right? They were just young guys. Duran, Dalbeck, and Mata, Ward, all these guys, they were part of the organization. The organization has done an amazing job in a year and a half, trading some guys to get some talent. Some of those trades, obviously, we're going to be talking the rest of our lives, right? Others, we're going to be talking about those trades because, we got some talent for Mitch and for Work and Heath. And these guys are going to actually perform, and they're like the base of what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to win championships, but at the same time, we want to do it for a long period of time, and they're going to help us do that. And where we at as an organization, I think we're very talented in the minor league side. We got guys that can contribute sooner rather than later compared to 19. You know what I'm saying? In 19, in the upper levels, we were very thin, and that's the nature of the business, right? There's only one organization right now that, they're above everybody else as far as like losing talent and having talent right away. The Dodgers, right? I mean, it's been amazing what they're doing, but the other organizations, they suffer. We can talk about what happened here, but I still remember at one point, New York had to trade Carlos and Miller and who else they traded that year because they struggle at the big league level. And now you see the Sanchez and Torres, they're part of the equation. But, and Chapman got traded that year too. So I love where we at. The thing that I'm enjoying the most of spring training is that second part of the game that you can see Duran and you see the arms that we have, and it's like, wow, we're good right now, but we're gonna be good for a long, long time, and that's up to us now. We have to keep developing these players, and when they get here, they're ready to produce.
Hey, Alex, just
sorry, you made a decision with Hauk obviously the other day, and I don't think it was a surprise, but throughout camp, was it kind of his struggles in games that led to that, or was that the plan from the beginning that he would start the year in the minors?
I mean, you see what we have, and we feel very comfortable not only with the guys that we have at the big league level, but, he's part of what we're trying to accomplish too. Chaim has done an amazing job adding talent, and we're deeper than usual in that aspect. If you go back to 18, what Hector and BJ did early in the season when Drew was hurt and Eduardo was hurt was amazing. And then, in 19 when David and Chris and Nate got hurt, we were short. Those two guys were hurt. They didn't perform the same way in 18, and we were short. And that's we talk about it in 19. Now you don't feel that way. Now you feel like if something happens, we got capable guys that can come in for an extended period of time or for a spot start or for 2 weeks that can do the job and keep the level where it's supposed to be. And, yeah, he struggled with command in the first one. He struggled with command in the third one. But you saw the second one. That was eye-opening. And the way I see it, I think obviously velocity is up. And sometimes now you have to okay, I can do this. I need to do this delivery-wise to be consistent. And that's where he's at. And he understands and he knows that at one point during the season, he's going to be here and he's going to contribute.
Yeah, Alex, for 18 and 19, what have you learned about the final 2 weeks of spring training that are most important to you to get your team ready for the season opener?
Stay healthy and play clean baseball. That's the most important thing. The at-bats are the at-bats. There's certain guys that are working on staying inside the ball or staying behind the ball or catching up with fastballs. And results, it matters. You want to have your A swing, when you get on that plane to go to Boston. But the most important thing is play clean baseball and stay healthy. And obviously, keep getting that email every 2 days with all the negatives. We have that, and that's part of what we have to take care of. And we've done an amazing job so far. We can't get sloppy or relax with the protocols and everything virus-related. And we've done an amazing job right now. But 2 weeks now is the most important time for the group to stay together, do the things right off the field, on the field, obviously, and keep getting those negatives all the way to the end of the season.
Alex Arroyo got off to a hot start. How do you feel like he's been able to carry that through?
Good swing, good player. He's played good defense too. And he's hit some balls hard the last 4 or 5 days, and we're very comfortable with what he can do. He can play second, he can play short, he can play third. The other day he went to Goody, and he wanted to start working in left field, which is great. It's something that he thought about it, and I guess he looks around and see Marwin and see Enrique, and he's like, you know what? Maybe learning the outfield position can help me throughout my career. So we're very pleased with the way he's swinging the bat. We're very pleased with the way Michael is swinging the bat. Being able to catch up with some pitches up in the zone, been disciplined enough. So it's fun to see them playing this way. It's fun to see them in the clubhouse, in the drills, helping each other out. And that's what it's all about.
You're going to need Marwin and Kike in the outfield at least maybe more early in the season than you might have thought. How much is Arroyo being able to play second sort of important to that?
I mean, it's important. It's important. And he's a guy that, like I said, he can play second, he can play short. Obviously we have to make decisions, but that's something we can see, and he's made some great plays. He's been able to turn those plays. He's a good at bat, like I said. So let's see where it takes us. But so far, what I saw on TV, what I've seen in video, there's a much better version of Christian. He's in a better shape. He can move better now, and he can do some things that I thought he wasn't able to do the last few years.
Alex, un gusto saludarte. Tanto Rafael Devers como JD Martínez vienen de temporada por debajo. Vienen temporadas que tuvieron pues menos bases por bolas por cada 9 entradas lanzadas, más ponches, más los hábitos del bateo y todo ese tipo de cosas. Y como es la casa de poder del equipo, ¿qué nos puede decir de que se ha visto algún progreso en esta pretemporada?
Ellos también han trabajado fuerte en los errores que cometieron el año pasado. Primero que nada, están en mejor condición física. que es lo más importante. Están saludables, que eso también es bien importante, especialmente en el caso de Rafael. Y yo creo que obviamente van a tener una mejor temporada. Siguen trabajando en ciertas cosas. Rafael tratar de dominar la zona de strike. JD tratar de mantenerse detrás de la bola, pero tenemos mucho tiempo y hasta ahora han hecho muy buen trabajo.
De los novatos, Jared Down, Tristan Casas, Jared Durán, ¿a quién tú ves con más nivel para estar en las grandes ligas o más adelantado?
Eso no es una pregunta justa para ellos, porque cada cual de ellos tiene su fortalezas y sus debilidades. Obviamente Tristan es el más joven y todavía le falta mucho tiempo. Jeter y Jaren están más adelantados en su desarrollo como pelotero. Así que esos dos peloteros obviamente están más cerca de llegar aquí. Jaren tuvo un tremendo año el año pasado, jugó invierno, fue a la Serie del Caribe, hizo tremendo trabajo, pero también tiene cosas que trabajar y por eso va a comenzar su temporada en las ligas menores para trabajar en esos detalles. Pero de que los tres van a ser grandes ligas, ¿cuándo? No lo sabemos.
Okay, guys, anything else for Alex?
Okay, thank you. You good?
Thank you. Should be good. That's everything.
Perfect.
For all the rights holders.
Okay, cool. Thank you. We'll talk about